helicopters are for.
Welcome to the Nielsen ratings. I am somewhat full of cold today, so I may be snorting and snuffling my way through this stream. But I wasn't going to cancel it because, you know, there's lots to talk about. Lots and lots and lots to talk about today. I've been so engrossed in writing my book and also watching JFK in the background, which is not only featuring in the book, but I'm also doing a special stream on JFK in a few days. 22nd of the 22nd of November, which is the anniversary of the assassination. So I have been touching up on that subject, but let me bring in my fellow panelists. Northern is here.
Hello, you beautiful bastards, and how are you doing? Is fireworks going off around yours still?
I think, yeah, they have been, but most of the fireworks displays, the big ones, were all on like the weekend. So it's just, I think it's just like lots of kids letting them off now, you know.
Oh, yeah, I can still hear them popping off all around the estate.
Well, I mean, you know, you live up north, so that's like a sort of daily thing.
Yeah, I'm still diving down just in case it's drive-bys. You know, keeping my face to the floor. You never know.
Yeah, and please forgive our robust English sense of humour. Hopefully, I was very late in sending out the link to everyone today because I suddenly realised the time. I'd lost complete track of time, and it was like 9:59. So, So Gary isn't round, but he may not have seen it. So I'll just send him a message. So you know, sorry out the late sending out the link. There we go. Hopefully he'll be with us shortly. I think we will be having Blue Collar Loser coming up. Anyway, we're going to be talking about a few things, including the film JFK today, and some other stuff that I have seen. Some new things, including the film Apocalypse Z, which is currently available on Amazon. It's a new kind of zombie apocalypse movie. Then I also watched the 4-part drama series, which has just dropped a couple of weeks ago on ITV. And it's a true story drama, the kind of stuff that we Brits do best, called Until I Kill You, which is the true story of a woman who narrowly avoided being killed by a serial killer. And it's a guy called John Sweeney. And it's a pretty it's a pretty disturbing show. So we'll get into that as well. So the Inside Man is here.
Hello.
Sorry about sending the link at literally the last second.
That's all right, mate. No worries.
But you got it. So
yeah, thank you.
All good. One of my posts on Twitter has just been liked by none other than Phil Collins. So I think we should start off this stream trying to work out whether this is a real Phil Collins account or not. I think not, but let's have a look. So for anyone who doesn't know, my music tastes are very eclectic, and among the music tastes I have, I am a bit of a Phil Collins fan. Yeah, and that's just, that's just one of kind of like 30 genres of music I like. So here we go. Phil Collins has liked not one, but 2 of my posts. So the one about Terry Garr, and also when I went live on Halloween. I don't think Phil Collins has got time to like posts on Halloween. Let's have a look at this account. So he's following 25 people, and he's only got 6,569 followers. And the link is to the Phil Collins Wikipedia page. Do we think this is a real Phil Collins account?
I think it could be a Phil Collins. I'm sure there are plenty of them out there.
Well, I mean, but is it under the control of someone who works for Phil Collins, or is this just a bogus account?
No, definitely.
This is a bogus account, isn't it?
Yeah, this is bogus.
I would think so. Because I've seen this happening, that there's a lot of bogus accounts being set up. And the idea is to lure Joe Public into think, oh, someone famous is following me or whatever. And pretty soon after that, well, I would say within 3 to 6 months of this person following you, you're going to get some kind of dialogue with them directly. And that dialogue is going to involve, hey, if you send money, I will do a special meet and greet with you on video, or I'm going to send you this, or I'm going to send you that, which, of course, you'll never see. And this is going to become a very big scam soon, because soon the AI will be so sophisticated that we won't know which accounts are real and which aren't.
Yeah, I've just seen an AI footage of fishermen who have just fished out a big sea monster that looks like one of those big amoeba kind of things, and it's really convincing. It's almost convincing. The only thing that I found out it wasn't real was when the hand patting the amoeba turned into a scale.
Have you got that footage? Do you want to share it? I'll put it up.
Yeah, I'll try to see if I can find it again. It should be on my phone.
I've seen a few things like that. I've seen like a load of fishermen capturing like this giant squid, which it looks similar to the one that lives in the pond at the back of Inside Man's house. But we know no one's got that one.
Yeah. In the lake, you mean? In the big lake at the back of my house. Yeah. In my grounds.
Duck Vader, if you're watching and you want to come on, man, I've invited this guy on many times. Come on if you want to come on. Actually, I might send him the link now. So I think this AI thing is going to become I know this AI thing is going to become a really massive problem. What's going to happen? How are we going to resolve this? Well, that's it for solutions on the AI problem. Join us next week, and we'll be discussing another issue where we'll offer you no help whatsoever.
Yeah, I found the footage.
I think Oh, you found it?
Yeah, I just found it.
Nice.
Right, show it, mate.
And in the StreamYard, and got to share.
This is a fisherman from Hull who's claimed to capture a big sea monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look right there.
Yeah.
Scales.
It is quite convincing, though, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
As a shot in a movie. I mean, pretty soon, I would say not even in 5 years, there'll be an AI software where you can write a script and create your own film, and you won't be able to tell the difference between the AI footage and real footage.
But this is one of the things that, when you look at, this kind of stuff, you sort of think to yourself, well, if this is that good, then how come the CG in this movie is so shit?
Right.
Yeah. You look at some movies and you think absolutely zero care has gone into it, or it's just been done by complete rank amateurs, or nobody's really that bothered. If you can do a decent bit of AI that's going to be going on on a phone, like for TikTok or for Instagram or something, and it looks quite convincing. Because I mean, movie industry, beware, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be out of their jobs.
They are supporting bloody AI, and they shouldn't be, because this is going to put a lot of people out of jobs.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting to see what happens there. Let's move on. I'll hold off on updating on the American election until our American guests arrive, so we can see what's happening overseas. Countdown to whatever. I am curious to see how this all plays out. Yeah, so I watched. Well, I kind of had it on in the background when I was working. Until I Kill You, which is a ITV drama. It's I think it was 4 or 5 parts. Can't remember now. 40 minutes. It's created by Nick Stevens. It stars Anna Maxwell Martin, Sean Evans, and Amanda Wilkin. Anna Maxwell Martin, I have to say, is very good in it. She's an actress I've always rated. And it's the true story of the woman who basically brought down serial killer John Sweeney. There's a little trailer here. Maybe we can show that. Let's have a look. And incidentally, most of this was filmed in and around. So that high street there, in that shot, that is Hornsey High Street. That is literally 300 feet from where I'm sitting now. Maybe 500. And it was all filmed in and around Hornsey and Crouch End. This.
Well, where do you want me to start?
I'm John.
Delia.
I'm going to take such good care of you.
Does he not make you happy? It makes me feel less alone. You drew that?
Yep, my last girlfriend.
What's her name?
Alicia.
John, you're changing again. He threatened you with a gun. You can't go back to your flat. You have to go to the police.
Did you tell them what I told you about Alicia?
The truth is staring you in the goddamn face!
He's not going to break bail.
Please tell the court about the events of the night of the 22nd of December, 1994.
I want to talk to you.
You mean the night he killed me?
Julia, stay with us.
You're as much to blame for what happened to me as he is.
May you never die until I kill you.
Why is the law allowed to treat people like this?
Brand new drama, Until I Kill You, coming soon to ITV1 and ITVX.
Yeah, so it's available now on ITVX. I have to say it's pretty good. I'll give it sort of a solid 7 out of 10. Although Maxwell Martin's performance, I'd give that a 9 out of 10. Now, some people have criticised her for her accent, but her character spent her childhood in Australia, then was partly raised in Canada, partly raised in America, and then spent the last 10 years in the UK. So I think anyone's accent would be a bit all over the place, and I think that's what she's tried to do. But that's always a risk in a movie, because in a movie you're just seeing that life in a snapshot of, well, 2.5 hours, let's say, if we put all these episodes together. And it's a bit of a risk. It can come across as weak acting, which it's not. I just think she tried to do something with the accent that maybe didn't quite work.
I think they would almost certainly have a dialogue coach with her. In order to get through it. So I mean, I would suggest that it's probably pretty close to the person that she's portraying. They never skimp. They don't skimp on these things. So I think if anyone's really criticizing that, you probably have to look at the actual person upon whom it's based.
Well, there's a documentary called The Real Story Until I Kill You, which is on ITV, which has got an interview with the real Delia Obama, who's the woman who kind of bravely had to face a serial killer in court and so on. This guy John Sweeney's never getting out of prison, thankfully. the actor that plays him, Sean Evans, is absolutely terrifying. Does a really good job. Yeah, it's quite a horrifying production to watch, man. Yeah, it's quite difficult. But it is good. It's well done. And if you like true crime, dramas, I recommend it. Let's just see who's in the chat quickly. We've got Atom Gray is here. Jam Lammer is here. Keith is here. Axel Zabodi is here, who I was in last week, so welcome back again. DJ Play Nice, bringing you all the latest hits on the Outcast Creative channel. And then we also have Adrian Sherlock from Down Under. Very good. Jamalama in the house. Right. 16 people watching. Thank you for tuning in. So, yeah, if anyone's seen it, give us a rating out of 10. Have any of my other panelists seen this?
No, I haven't. Funny enough, my mum was actually talking to me earlier about this, and she's just catching up on it. So, yeah, she was actually the one that recommended that I watch this. So, so now that's two of you that have recommended it. So I definitely will.
Yeah,
watch this.
I think it's good. I think there are some parts of it that are overplayed. I would have liked to have seen a bit more on what was happening with the police investigation. I mean, obviously it's her story that they're telling. It's Delia's story, but
yeah,
I feel we got enough of Delia's story. I would have liked a bit more on the police investigation.
Yeah.
But it is good. It is good. So yeah, I did enjoy it, and I am a bit of a true crime buff. So yeah. Axel Bodie's mentioned Ludwig, which I haven't been meaning to watch, with David Mitchell, who's an actor I do enjoy, on BBC One. Has anybody watched that?
No.
Funny enough, it's
very funny guy.
It's another one that my mum has recommended that I watch. So
you're not very good at taking up your mum's recommendations, are you? That's two recommendations.
No, I'm not. Yeah. No, that's right. I mean, she's constantly recommending things for me.
Are you still? Is she still waiting for your opinion on Dixon of Dock Green? But you haven't got back to her yet. As recommended by your mum.
I'm just about getting
40
around.
Years ago.
I'm just about getting round to the Sweeney. So yeah, and I'll give her my opinion on that. Yeah.
Yeah, Ludwig.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good.
This is a sort of is this kind of like a detective crime comedy?
Yeah, I believe he's some kind of puzzle solver, and he has a twin brother. That's all I know. I don't know anything more than that. And it's a kind of a crime thing.
Drew Gordon saying, also don't forget your mother's recommendation of Dick Barton's Special Agent as well.
Yeah, oh no, good. I've already gone through those. Yeah, I've done them. So yeah.
I mean, this does seem to be getting pretty good reviews.
Yeah, it does.
So, plus he got to film in Oxford, which is quite a pleasant place to hang out. And yeah, we've got the lovely Anna Maxwell Martin in it again. I assume she maybe playing his number 2 or something like that.
I would assume so, yeah.
Or maybe she's the serial killer. Oh, hello. That picture would suggest something. So we've got 1 season, 6 episodes. It's currently scoring 8.2 on IMDb. Let's have a look at some of the reviews. Detective fans are going to jump for joy. Just like a great big hug. Lovely, comforting TV. Absolutely perfect. Thanks to all involved. Funny and gripping. Excellent. So these are all 9 out of 10s or 10 out of 10s. Loved it. Very light-hearted, entertaining. Got better and better. That's a 7 out of 10. That's the most critical review to date. 6 out of 10. Calm down. It's fine. I do love that one. Has had the potential to be so much more. 5 out of 10, but that's got spoilers, so we won't dive in there. On the whole, though, this seems to be, yeah. People seem to like it.
And he is good. I do like him. I like him very much, actually. I think he's a very, very smart guy. You know, it's a very sharp kind of wit. Yeah.
Yeah, he is It's been renewed for a second season. You'd hope so with reviews like that, wouldn't you?
Great. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's one of my choices for the week. I'll save my rest for later. Inside Man, what you got for us this week?
I'm actually going to start off with a documentary. It's one that I think we've all seen, but it's so compelling for me. And it's Lost in La Mancha, the Terry Gilliam documentary. It's just such an incredibly frustrating thing just to watch this project completely fall away from him, day by day by day. Yeah, it's just it's one of the best movie making documentaries, or rather, not movie making documentaries. I think that anyone is likely to see. Um, you can tell the frustration of in Terry Gilliam all the way through this project. Nothing is going according to plan in terms of the lead actors. They can't get everyone together for a read through. The guy who is the actor who's playing Don Quixote, he's quite ill and can't ride the horse. Then they have the massive storm, which changes the location in a dramatic fashion. The first AD turns in his cards and hot foots it out of there. And of course, if you've got no first AD, you ain't got nothing. That's the guy that organizes everything. That's the guy that schedules everything.
Who was the first AD on it?
Oh goodness me, I can't remember the name of the guy actually. An Australian chap. I really can't remember the guy's name.
Is it someone who'd worked with Terry before?
I think it probably was. It certainly wasn't anybody that I know. But yeah, I mean, everything just went to bits. And of course, you had the problems with the investors because it was a consortium of investors. All put an amount of money in, and then with the storm, they couldn't claim insurance because it was force majeure.
Right.
So it was, but it's a wonderful documentary.
Did this documentary come about almost by accident because it basically was a way of salvaging something from the film, and that was this?
Well, what it was, the guys that did the documentary had actually done the documentary for the special features on 12 Monkeys, and he liked the documentary, the sort of behind the scenes stuff on 12 Monkeys so much that he invited them back to do, a real good, solid documentary about the making of the movie, and of course there was no movie, so they just managed to turn it out as their own project.
Well, here's an interesting tidbit. The first AD on the movie was Philip A. Patterson,
right?
And I'm assuming that's the guy that walked off. He would also be. I mean, he's been a first AD for a long time. He's also been the first AD on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He was on 12. He was a second AD on 12 Monkeys, so that's
Right,
where
okay.
he came from. And then he also more recently did Horizon Chapter 1 and Horizon Chapter 2 with Kevin Costner.
Oh wow! Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he's the first AD on those two. And I'm still waiting.
He's no slouch.
Yeah.
Coming out soon, Chapter 2.
I don't know. Is it?
I really want to see it. I knew it was delayed, but I don't know if.
Well, I only delayed it because the first one didn't make any money.
Yeah, but they're still going through releasing the second one, aren't they?
Good to see you, Snorty Bear. I don't know if that's Snorter Pooper's now changed his name to Snorty Bear. I'm not sure. I don't know. Mark Kelly, former postmaster, is in the house. Yeah, I really don't know. Don't know what's happening with that film. Maybe we can. Do you want to have a quick Google of that, Norman? While we're
I'm doing that now. Just on it now. Okay.
Yeah, I saw this at the cinema.
Yeah, Snap. Yeah. It's I mean, it was an amazing documentary, and it sort of left me almost bereft, really, because of the project that we just did not get.
Mm.
Um, I mean, he's a very unusual man, Terry Gilliam. He's an unusual director, and he has the artist's eye. Um, and to say that he's unique, I think, is probably as accurate as you could get a description of him. Um,
I've
I would
met
have
him.
loved to.
I've met him about 7 times.
Yeah, and yeah, he's quite something. He is quite the man. And he's one that doesn't suffer fools either. So, um, yeah, no, notoriously a curmudgeon, but he's earned the right to be a curmudgeon, I think.
Yeah, he knows his stuff, though. I know
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
there's this interview where he's like really slagging off Steven Spielberg's approach to Schindler's List, and it's like he likes to wrap things up in a pretty bow, but that's not what great films is. When you look at films like 2001: A Space Odyssey, you're kind of wondering what the hell the ending's about, but he gave you something to talk
yeah,
about, and he does
yeah,
kind of make a point a little bit. But I mean,
he does. Yeah,
but
Schindler's List gave me plenty to talk about. Thank you.
yeah,
I wouldn't. I mean, if I was at the top of my game, and I'd knocked out, let's say, 15 films, 5 of which were considered to be the greatest movies of all time, I'd like to think I still would not be a total bellend and be waxing lyrical about other directors and putting them down.
no, because not every film needs to be 2001: Space Odyssey. Sometimes you just need a
No, it
good little
doesn't.
romantic adventure, and that's it. It's 2 hours
Yeah.
to switch off to.
If every film was
But
like
it's
2001: Space Odyssey, the fucking cinema would have died a long time ago. Because I'm sorry, the film's fucking boring. So no kid's going to sit down in the cinema and watch that movie. Sorry,
boo,
but I know
boo.
that's controversial to say that.
I
But
like 2001: Space Odyssey. I'll just put my hand up
I
and say
like
Yeah,
it. I like
yeah,
it.
I
Yeah,
I love it.
don't. Basically, what Northern is saying is, please don't unsub to my channel because I can't stand that. No, I'm
It's
just my honest opinion. I was a kid when I saw it. I thought it was boring then. I think it's okay now.
but
But I'm just
in
saying, if
terms
that's
of
all we'd made, just those types of films, cinema would have died.
but I'm fine with directors criticizing other directors, because I think these are the people that are more supremely qualified to offer that critique. I'm okay with Tarantino criticizing Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott criticizing Kubrick, and Spielberg criticizing Scorsese, and so on and so on and so on. I'm fine with that, because they've earned the right to do that. They have bodies of work that the rest of us can only dream of. And they put the graft in, they put the hours in, the years, and the dedication. They've put the sacrifice in as well. And I think, yeah,
Yeah,
any director, I think, I think they really have earned that, to offer that sort of critique. And I like hearing directors that are disappointed at other directors' work. Um, I really do, because it really gives me a certain, a new perspective on something maybe I've completely missed. These people are above and beyond the level that I am. Um, but it is nice to hear another perspective, even if I completely disagree with them. I do like to hear that. I mean, um,
well, no, absolutely. But
I mean, I know that Steven Spielberg was quite critical of David Lean, a director who he absolutely worshipped, and was also critical of Stanley Kubrick, another director that he absolutely worshipped.
what criticism did he make of David Lean, and which movie was it about? Do you remember?
Well, it was Lawrence of Arabia. When they put the rest of the footage together for the actual director's cut, when they found all the missing footage, um, and it was down to Spielberg, because he was such a fan of Lawrence of Arabia. They had some pretty big arguments, and they not just arguments, but they actually fell out in a very, very, very big way. Um, which I don't think they recovered from, either of them. I don't think they sort of got over their little spat. But that's fine. These are artists, and artists are meant to be temperamental. They're meant to have that passion and that fire in their belly, that um, and that competitive nature, which I really enjoy seeing with certain directors. And that, sadly, I think is what's missing. I think when we have really tuppeny halfpenny directors that think that they're a Kubrick, or think that they're a Scorsese or a De Palma or a Spielberg or a Tarantino, and they start offering critique on really serious critique on these people, when their bodies of work are things like Stop on My Mom Will Shoot, or that movies of that ilk. And you kind of think, oh, come on, seriously. But yeah, but in terms of Terry Gilliam, I think he's one of the few visionaries there are. You've only got to look. I mean, you can immediately identify Terry Gilliam's style, can't you? You know a Gilliam movie. From all the way from Monty Python and the Holy Grail onwards, and you can tell, even though that was co-directed by him and Terry Jones, you can tell the Gilliam parts. They're the real arty parts. They're the really beautifully framed, loads of smoke, and bits and pieces of nastiness in there. That he's quite good in making ugliness look quite beautiful, I think. And he does that with the plumbing things like Time Bandits, I think, and The Fisher King, and a movie that I haven't seen for years. But
Fisher King is, funnily enough, gets a mention in my book, but I haven't done a whole section on it.
all right.
Yeah, good film.
Oh, sorry. Are you writing a book by any chance?
Yeah, I've got a new book coming out. Did I mention that
Have you?
before?
When's that? When might that be due out?
Hopefully the 1st of December.
1st of December. Oh, I'll put that date in my diary.
Yes, all 17 people watching, put that date in your diary. The 1st of December, available on Amazon, hopefully. And I'm still trying to decide the title, but
yeah. But before we actually wrap up later on, could you remind me again about that, if you don't mind? I think I might need reminding again.
If you could remind me again to remind you again, that'd be great.
I'll do that.
All right,
I'll do that.
Thank you, because I often forget to remind you to remind me of things. Drew Gordon says it's actually a fascinating current topic, creative sensitivity and the acceptable level of being a critical dick. It's part of the current discourse with Comicsgate versus the world. Yeah, I mean, that's all true. Tony Kaye's new film, The Trainer, will be out soon. Tony Kaye said he's going to come on the channel. I'm still trying to pin him down on a date, but he's agreed to come on.
Excellent.
Adrian Sherlock says, I finished the first draft of the Thunderbirds book. Yeah, you need a forward in that book, Adrian, by someone who's a massive Thunderbirds fan. Maybe someone who's got some models, met Jerry Anderson a few times, got to walk on the set of Space Precinct. If I think of someone, I'll let you know. I'm sure he'd be willing. So Drew Gordon. I saw Jabberwocky for the first time recently. The production values match Game of Thrones. Not sure about the dragon, but yeah, okay.
It's a good movie, actually. I watched that not that long ago, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's not a bad old movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Lost in La Mancha and you're thinking of becoming a film director, I would definitely recommend watching this first before you commit to that road. It may make you rethink, but it is good. It's well worth seeing. I saw this at the I think it was called the Renoir Cinema then. It's now the Curzon in Soho.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do you remember when it was called the Renoir? It was the Renoir
I
Cinema.
do, actually. Yes, I do. Funny enough. Yeah.
There used to be two of them. There was one there and there was one just up from Trafalgar Square, which is now a gym.
Oh, right.
That was where I saw David Lynch's Blue Velvet. I remember going to see that.
Wow.
And yeah, that's not a good date movie, Blue Velvet.
It's not, but it's
No.
a damn fine movie.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
Lost.
something about Dennis Hopper just breathing in an oxygen mask and
Oh,
going nuts. It's
yeah.
Yeah, that scene endures in the memory. What would you give Lost in La Mancha out of 10?
From a filmmaking point of view, it's definitely an absolute 10. I mean, it's a belter. It's
Okay.
one of the finest filmmaking documentaries that you're ever likely to see.
Well, there's a recommendation. Northern, have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but I will try and give it a go. That sounds
No,
fascinating.
you should watch it. It's very good. Yeah, I'll give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Very good. It's very good. There's another documentary that's a bit similar to that, actually, called Overnight. Has anyone seen that?
No.
That's the one about the guy who made the movie The Boondock Saints. Troy
I've
Duffy.
heard about it, but
Yeah.
I've not really had any interest in seeing it for some reason. I don't know. I just didn't feel to me.
You should see it because the guy's got your face for starters, so that's a reason to check it out because you may be related. Who knows?
Now you
but-
sold me.
Well, I mean, you can judge for yourself. Here you go. There he is. Looks a bit like you. So,
Fucking hell, no, that's a spitting image. That
told you. So, Overnight is it's a true story documentary about these two filmmakers who were actually part of Troy Duffy's film unit, and the whole point of their documentary was to document his rise to stardom because he was taken under the wing of that very reputable filmmaker Harvey Weinstein, and yeah, it's like but Harvey Weinstein had the power to make or break young filmmakers and producers, and he took pleasure in doing that. He took pleasure in tormenting them, along with all the other things that he took pleasure in doing that he's now in prison for. And this guy was one of his victims, but this guy was also a victim of his own ego because he suddenly thought he was going to be the next Quentin Tarantino, and he quickly turned into an arsehole overnight. But it's a really good documentary. It's in the same style of that thing, and it sort of follows him over a period of about 3 years, including the making of the Boondock Saints, which Billy Connolly was in. Shout out to Billy Connolly because I know he's still quite poorly at the moment, I believe.
Jake Busey.
Yeah, that was Busey. Busey's son.
Sean Penn on the right.
No, I'm not sure about that. But this was his band. He had a band called The Brood, and they were also doing the soundtrack for the film, which kind of really didn't make any, just didn't sell any records. That's what's his name.
Ron Jeremy, Jesus Christ.
He was William Dafoe he works with, and then he went to discuss like film theory at Boston University, and I mean in the room he was just like a complete knob. He was like sort of pointing to people and going, "Yeah, I can tell you're not going to make it." I mean, who fucking does that? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. It's well worth seeing, and it's something that probably every millennial should watch. Tony Montana, funny name, is the guy who he was the sort of manager of the band, and he was co-directing the documentary. And they ultimately realized that this guy was going down in flames, and the only thing of value that they had, because he wasn't really paying them properly, was the fact that they could make this documentary. So they got something out of it,
Good.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
I was kind of pleased with them. I'm amazed you haven't seen this Inside Man. Actually.
No, I've not. I'm surprised that I've kind of, it's passed me by. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know he did do a sequel to the Boondock Saints, but I don't think he went on to have a massive career. No. So he's done 2 Boondock Saints movies, a Knight Rider short, and something called Guest House in 2020. So 3 directing credits. Dude, that's even less than me. So there we are.
Neil Breen's definitely got him beat then.
Neil Breen has got him beat. Space Ice has started doing Neil Breen.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. We did say we were gonna do a Neil Breen special, didn't we?
Yeah. I sent him a super chat as well on the Reddit in that awesome voice he uses.
Oh, I know.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I saw him read your super chat out live, actually, mate.
Did you?
I was watching that. I love his mullet. He's got that massive hair.
I know. It's like, as soon as I saw his face, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what you expect from a guy who does Steven Seagal fucking hit videos.
I feel like if I ever got him in, I just have to get him in a movie just to get him on set for his hair. So like set something in the 1980s and just have him walk past in the background as an extra.
Get him on here, man, if you can. I mean, bloody Drinker seems to be into him and your friends. So
it was me that recommended him to Drinker. I saw his videos and I said, you're going to want to check this guy out.
Dude, I want him getting on my streams as well. The guy's just cool. He's just cool.
Yeah, I would very much like to get him on. So we'll see if we can. I don't know whether he wants to support smaller channels, but we will see. Northern, that's you. What have you got?
Well, we did have we was trying to catch up on a few Halloween movies we missed. So yeah, me and the wife watched the really stupid but totally guilty pleasure Van Helsing. It's
yeah.
I know it's stupid. It's like it could have been written so much better, but you can tell Stephen Sommers was just having a blast making this dumb flick. And Hugh Jackman does well. He's not Peter Cushing's Van Helsing or Eddie Van Sloan, but I still enjoy it. And Richard Roxburgh is probably one of the worst Draculas, but he's such an awesome hammy villain. I can't help but laugh my ass off when he's on screen. You can tell he's just not giving a fuck. And
yeah, I remember seeing this at the cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the scene where LeBraz goes, "Have you no heart?" And he's like, "No, I am hollow." It's like,
yeah, it weren't great, I'll be honest. This scene was good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, he was the one.
I mean, I don't remember it, but I assume it must have been. I think
Becky said looks good, man.
Adrian must be going to bed. See you later, buddy.
Yeah. But it is kind of a shame that it didn't get a sequel. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been good, but I still would like to have seen more adventures with this version of Van Helsing. And the visuals are still amazing, though. I'm not going to lie. It definitely captures the spirit of both the Universal pictures and the Hammer horrors. But the CGI is fucking atrocious. I mean, that's
what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, is the CGI held up? I would assume
the CGI is bad, but the visuals are still brilliant.
Right. Yeah, I was not impressed with the CGI even at the time. I remember thinking this CG looks a bit naff. But again, this scene looks good.
Yeah, they're fucking hilarious as well.
Do you know what? I went to a Halloween party on Saturday, and there were loads of people with these contact lenses in. And one of my friends, Mandy, had dressed up as a cat, and she had like the cat's eyes.
Wow.
And she got them like done prescription as well. Man, it was nuts. So I was thinking, oh god, they were really cool. But do they limit your vision when you put these in? Do you know about that, Inside Man?
I don't think they do. I think particularly if they're prescriptions as well. No, I mean I'd say they're pretty okay. You can buy quite a few sort of off the shelf stuff as well, can't you? Standard soft coloured lenses, I quite fancy that. I quite fancy using those like full sclera contacts. The ones that go over your entire eyeball. Like the idea is perhaps using some of those for no apparent reason, but just for the sheer hell of it, really.
I see. I see. Toxics wanted to comment on this photo. Look at that hot piece of arse. Yeah. See ya. Bit chunky, bit on the chunky side, mate. Yeah. So yeah, do you know what? I can't remember anything about this film other than I thought it was dull. I thought the effects were not very good. I liked some of the costumes. But yeah, I just didn't really. It was just so forgettable for me. But again, this
accent's fucking atrocious.
scene looks good. Yeah. What would you give it out of 10 then?
I'd probably give it maybe a 6 out of 10 because I know it's a bad movie, but I can't help but just occasionally watch it just to watch something stupid.
Is that 2 out of 10, but plus 4 for Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay.
She is smoking in that movie. She really is.
No, I do remember her being quite satisfactory in the film.
10 on 10.
Indeed. I met her sister at a party, actually. And her sister used to be in London's Burning.
That's right, yeah.
And I straight away recognised her, and it was like my friend's garden party. And me and her ended up talking for like almost the entire night, chatting away about, whatever nonsense it was.
Yeah, for the longest time, I didn't know her dad was Godber in Porridge. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's no longer around, I don't think.
Yeah, he died very young. She was only a kid.
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
35, I think he was, something like that.
Very young.
Yeah.
Very funny actor as well, and it's such a shame.
Yeah, he was actually. Yeah. He was very good in Rising Damp, actually. I really enjoyed his stuff in Rising Damp.
Oh, Reginald Perrin, man. Reginald Perrin, God.
Okay, well, that's Van Helsing. I mean, I'd give it 5 out of 10. I'm not going to rewatch it again to update that rating. Today, I also watched, just to update myself on the movie, The Hard Way.
Oh, yeah, you accepted me. I love it.
James Woods. I saw this at the cinema. I found the cinema ticket for it today. Again, it was a possible entry for my book. It actually got bumped out. So I started writing about it, and then I realized I didn't really have a great story attached to the memory of seeing the film, other than it was the first time I went to Empire Screen 2, which was a bit wank. And, that the film was good, but there wasn't really anything else to warrant its inclusion. So it got bumped off, unfortunately. But I did really enjoy watching it again because the scenes with Fox and Woods are just great to watch.
Yeah, apparently he had a hard time pretending to hate Michael J. Fox because he was such a likable guy. I mean, God, man.
I can believe that. John Badham, again, who directed War Games.
Yeah, and Dracula 1979 is very underrated director, in my opinion.
Yeah, Stakeout was another one of his.
Yeah, he's got a pretty impressive resume. Not underrated in the industry, perhaps underrated in the general populace.
Yeah, culture. Yeah, because I think The Hard Way is a very underrated movie. I mean, it is.
It did all right. It was a moderate success. It recouped its budget and then some. Didn't do that well in Europe. And I remember being surprised that it wasn't on in a bigger screen. That was one of the things that irked me. This is also one of the first performances of Stephen Lang. He's super over the top.
He's been in stuff before. He's in Manhunter as a reporter, but I think this is like one of his first. I think it might be the first time he started donning the blonde hair because
He's the one that gets tied to the wheelchair in Manhunter. Then
he's in that.
You know what? I don't remember that being him. Good spot.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was shocked as well because I'm so used to seeing him with white hair, and he is really over the top and camp, and he's this proper cackling vigilante serial killer. He's so good in it though. I mean, it's that bit where James Woods is going to meet you, and he just starts playing it on repeat, and he starts breaking down and laughing. It's like, damn, this guy is really he's not all there. He is not all there.
Tox, I'm going to send you the link if you want to come on, mate, because we've got room for another one, and we're missing out on our American representation. So just don't start talking about your bunker and machine gun collection. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's a great film. It's got so many good moments in it. I love it when he starts copying him, and Woods has got that big speech. You get 19 takes, we get 1, and then that line.
It's fucking great, that was.
Yeah,
he's still likable, even though he's this pampered fucking egomaniac actor, and he still tries to help James Woods salvage his relationship with
Annabelle Sakura. She's
yeah,
so
I know.
gorgeous.
I know she was, and she was smoking hot in The Sopranos as well as this really crazy woman who Tony has an affair with. She's yeah, damn.
Oh, yeah, that's
right.
right.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, good film. I recommend it to people if you haven't seen it. Toxic's also recommended Cop, which went straight to video in the UK. Do you know what? I thought that was okay, but I haven't seen it since I rented it.
Yeah, it was the accountant guy from The Untouchables on it. The one with the glasses who gets shot in the elevator. Because I think there was another one where his partner on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it Charlie Martin Smith, is it?
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
Charles Martin Smith. He's still around.
Yeah, he played Frog, didn't he, in American Graffiti?
Oh God, yeah.
Was it Toad or Frog? One of the. I know it's an amphibian.
I remember him being in it and having hair, which is one of the few times when he actually had hair. This was a good scene. I wonder if Michael J. Fox has got one of these smoking gun posters on his wall.
It probably does. I love this scene as well because it's kind of like he's almost losing his lead to getting the party crasher, and he suddenly looks at the posters and says, he starts to act. He starts to act. He starts taking Nick Lang's lead here a bit. So they're both laying off each other. That's what good buddy comedies should have.
Yeah.
Talking of which, when are we getting that Christopher Reeve documentary in the UK?
I know. I'm just going to sail the 7 seas, to be honest, to watch that.
Well, yeah, definitely going to need a few hankies. Anyway, moving on from this, I'll give it 9 out of 10. Really good buddy cop film. Well, maybe not 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, I think. 8 out of 10. I still don't like it as much as Running Scared. That's probably because I love Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines in that film, and I also love the soundtrack. It's just very
great.
It's pristine 1980s. Mind you, this is 1991. So, but yeah, this is a great film, though. It's a great film. What would you guys give it out of 10?
I'd give this an 8. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, fun movie, great chemistry with 2 good actors, and it's very smart as well. It's a very smart kind of takes the piss out of Hollywood actors a bit as well. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, that's the best part. I really did like that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to the advertised feature. This is Apocalypse Z, the beginning of the end. This is basically 28 days later, set in Spain. So, just to let you know, that bridge, by the way, I think is the bridge that some stupid British tourist who was making a TikTok video fell off. I think it's that. I think it's that bridge. Yeah. In this poster, they climbed up one of the pylon things. You're not supposed to climb up them. And we're doing some TikTok video, and they fell off.
Silly Billy.
I am surprised we haven't done a South Park episode where some idiots are going, I'm going to put my head in the meat grinder. It's going to be awesome. Then they lose a fucking head. I mean, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, make it happen.
Yeah, it would be good to do one. Anyway, parodying TikTok videos. Apocalypse Z, not especially original, but it is done very well. I will give it that. It was very watchable. I mean, I actually watched it in the sense that this is another 28 Days Later film. I'm just seeing it in a different country. So I wasn't expecting anything about it to be particularly original. Quite good performances, some good visuals, some good effects. The zombies are your typical, we can run fast, etc., etc. This is the main hero. He sort of runs. He's got this cat attached to him the whole time. He's trying to get this cat back. Which is kind of fun. and has spear gun will travel. I think that cat's been CGI'd into that shot. But yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10. Good effort. Not particularly original, but it's another chapter in the slew of zombie films. It just happens to be a good one. Welcome, Toxic, to the Outcast crew.
Hello. Election day, my friend.
Hello.
Election.
Yes.
Let's see if you can keep up that British accent for the rest of the stream.
Well, I'll do my level best, Lance. I certainly will.
So I assume you're back from voting for Harris.
I love his accent.
No, I can't vote, Lance. I'm a felon, buddy.
Oh, do you not get to vote if you're a felon?
No, you're especially if you're a violent felon. Yeah,
Oh, damn.
You're done. Yeah, done. Yeah, I did try though. I did. I came in and gave him my old ID from Florida and my military ID and tried to play it off like, oh yeah, I just come back from overseas, and they're like, yeah, you're not registered anywhere. Give us your social security number. I was like, oh, that's all right. Well, the jig is up. Then I came back again with a Ukrainian accent and a pro Harris T-shirt, and then they did let me. But so no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding on that second part.
Has anybody else seen Apocalypse?
I have. Yes.
What did
It's
you
not
think
bad.
of it? Yeah.
It's okay. It was one of those things you can kind of put on in the background when you doing
even
laundry
with subtitles. You didn't really have to follow the subtitles.
No.
Did you have the dubbed version on?
I don't think so. It was on Netflix, so I don't think it was. Maybe
you can choose. You can select how to watch an English dubbed version. I had the subtitled version.
Okay.
I will freely admit I wasn't reading half the dialogue, and I could still follow.
No, you don't have to. Yeah, it's like we have The Walking Dead at home, or we have 28 Days Later on Wish, like that. So that kind of thing. But it's okay. It's not great, but I did watch The Substance off of Luke's recommendation last night.
Fucking batshit, isn't it?
It wasn't as bad as I was worried. I don't like body horror, but man, though Demi Moore and this Margaret Qualley, holy schmoly, they are some good looking women. I'll tell you what. It's okay. It was interesting. It was definitely an interesting movie. I would definitely had watched it had not so many of my YouTuber counterparts told me to watch it. But yeah, I watched it last night. I was pretty entertained. I didn't play on my phone. I just watched the whole thing. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I just love how mad the cinematography is as well. They make food all the most appetizing cuisine look like the most disgusting thing you'd ever consume. It's
I can't eat shellfish anyways, but even if I could, I would never eat shellfish or prawns again after watching what Dennis Quaid did in that. Oh, so terrible.
God, how fabulous does he fucking look in that suit, man? It's like, Jesus, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Now, Toxic, I found a photograph of you doing some cosplay.
Oh, okay.
With Katie Sackhoff, no less.
Okay.
Quite impressed that you managed to bag this picture.
Yeah.
With her, I feel the shorts are a bit tight.
Yeah, that's definitely me.
Yeah,
that's definitely me. Oh, Katie. Oh,
yeah. I mean, I know that you're stretched out, so that's not accurately representing your height. Toxic is squatting in that picture.
I am, but Katie is a tall bird. She's a tall bird, you see. She's quite fit as well.
And she stated, "Look, the real Katie Sackhoff in heaven." So I mean, say no more. Fox has still got it. Good stuff.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
I've also found this video from Kevin Bacon's Kitchen.
Oh boy!
And as you know, I'm a big fan of the bacon. So I'm not sure if we can play the audio. And
I think we all know you're a big fan. You're a big fan of the bacon.
I am a big fan of the bacon. So the Kevin Bacon
cooks bacon.
This is
not a recipe, but I want to show you the chaos that happens when we start cooking dinner. Wow! Then you got this. What are you doing? What is it? Fish? I don't know. Whoa! There's this. There's this. What's going on over here? Whoa, hang on.
That's a lot of ingredients.
Uh-oh, cauliflower. This is what we do.
You know what? They I think they are Hollywood's oldest surviving couple.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and I love that about them. I love that about them, that they're still together. You know, because that Hollywood does not have good odds.
No.
Chloe Sevigny is still looking good as well. She's she's killing it.
That's not Chloe Sevigny. That's Kyra Sedgwick, you moron.
Kyra Sedgwick. That's it. I've had the names mixed up. I do apologize, but yeah, she's still killing it. She's still killing it.
Chloe Sevigny. Are you serious right now?
That's going to encourage them both to come on for an interview. Thanks, Northern. Right.
Oh my God.
I'm going to commit for this dishonor.
Speaking of interview, Lance, did I hear you say you're going to get? Is Tony going to give you an interview?
Tony,
Anthony, Mr. K,
Anthony, Mr. K.
Tony K.
Oh, Tony K. Sorry. Yes.
Jeez, Louis, you okay?
He has agreed.
He did.
On Instagram, he said, let's do it. Because I said, look, let's get you on for an interview. And his response on Instagram publicly.
That's crazy. He doesn't do interviews for anybody, Lance. Anybody.
Then again, you mentioned this. He doesn't do interviews on our last Penguin stream, was it? And I said, listen, if you're going to do an interview with someone, do it with Lance. He's not some.
You did say that, yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe he heard me and probably might have taken it on board.
Everybody's been hyping you up, Lance, to say, if you're going to do it with Lance, because he's quite respectful and is great. I'm going to get an early link to his film, right?
Yeah, I heard something about that. How did that come about?
So without going into a long tangent, once upon a time, there was a little bit of a myth on your stream where he was posing as somebody else, and you guys were talking about American History X, and I got a little upset at whoever it was that was talking. Maybe it was him, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But anyway, so I started following him on Twitter and Instagram, or X, and started to just basically chat back and forth, and got on some of his things where he's playing the ukulele, things like that. And so he started popping up on our streams, like he's coming a couple of them to say this or that. And then I got a query like, would you be willing to sign this disclosure saying that you'll wait until a certain amount of time, but we give you a link. You can play it once and it'll play the film, and then put it on your YouTube channel and talk about it, yada yada yada. You know how it goes. And so I was like, yeah, I'd be delighted. So but yeah, I'm waiting to put that together now, actually. But yeah, I was told very specifically that he just does not do interviews at all. But I guess you pulled it off, so kudos, man.
Well, he said yes. I mean, it hasn't happened yet. I've had other people that have said yes, and they've not. Michael Ironside said he was going to come on. I'm 90% certain that was Michael Ironside or someone who worked for Michael Ironside.
Right.
Because generally people who are sort of just trying to blag don't really like ask you in-depth questions about their movies. So,
sure.
which he did. And then I'm still waiting for Peter Hyams as well, so who also agreed, but
oh, cool.
I haven't been able to pin down yet. So there's a few of them. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I'd certainly be very willing. I have either 4 or 5 interviews next week, all in 1 week.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will talk about them towards the end of the show, but yeah.
Well, I am gonna look at the film, and I am gonna make a video. Unfortunately, it's not shareable, and unfortunately, I have like a time constraint that I have to do it with. But I'd be happy to talk about it if you'd like at some point, maybe next Nielsen's rating.
I mean, let's see if he agrees to come on. I haven't seen the film either.
Okay.
And I'll ask him for one. To see the film if possible. so we can discuss it in depth.
Cool. I would love
Yeah.
to do that. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, we can do. I'll do a special review stream of it with you if you want.
Oh, that'd be the tits. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as we've got you on, do you have a film or TV show that you've seen recently that you liked that you would like to recommend?
Yeah, so I don't usually do this, but my girlfriend's got Netflix, so she's been kind of bombarding me with Netflix. So movie-wise, she got me to watch Don't Move.
Oh, do you know what? I saw the trailer for that, and I thought this could be interesting. I'm just not in the mood for it now. But
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. It's that kind of movie. So you pegged that right. Is that the right title? Did I say the title correctly?
no, you did. It's like the serial killer guys going around, sort of paralyzing people.
Yes,
and then tormenting them basically, and it's
Yeah,
much
that's
of the
it.
movie is seen from the POV of the person who's been paralyzed.
Yes. Yeah, it was good. I really like her. I don't know her name, and even if I know it, I probably can't pronounce it properly. But she's on
Kesley Abville.
That could be right. I'm not sure.
Kesley as Billy, maybe, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to attempt it either. So
Yeah, that's right. Let me make a fool of myself. It's my channel, so
yeah. Yeah. I defer to your, you could always just say, hey, I'm getting on in years and I can't say words good. So that's more of a
that's happening more and more.
I hear you. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I didn't even it was another one of those surprises that I didn't play on my phone, and I just sat and watched the whole thing. And she's great. I've liked her in Yellowstone, and she was in Wind River. Yeah, she's a lot of people don't like her in Yellowstone, and I don't get that. I don't get the hate for her. I think if you're gonna get annoyed with anybody, Beth might be someone you'd not like. And I don't know if y'all watch Yellowstone or not.
I do. No, I do. Yeah, I haven't seen the last season, but I do watch it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really good, and it's not one of those things where you're yelling at the TV the whole time, going, "Oh, come on, that's stupid. You wouldn't do that." And then they have this really great, without spoiling, they have this really great side character that pops up to try to help her in the middle, and he is great. He must be some sort of character actor that I'm not familiar with, but he pops up, and man, it just changes the landscape of the whole film. So, and it's not a girl boss, and everything that she does, it's reasonable that she would do that.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's a smart move. That's good.
Is that the Appalachian Trail that she's on?
It's in California. Is the Appalachian Trail in California?
I've no idea.
I don't know either.
I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it is.
God, she's so good looking. Man, she's good looking.
Yeah, well, I've seen pictures of your lady, and she's not too dissimilar looking to this. So, yeah. So Toxics. Yeah.
I have a type. I guess you say. But yeah, you could check that out. She also got me to watch. Well, my lady's a cop, so she likes to watch stuff like that. But she also got me to watch the documentary on the Zodiac from the
that we talked about that last week. I thought that was pretty good.
I don't want to talk too much about it. I just letting you know that I'm watching it. I'm enjoying it. I'm only on episode 3, so I don't want to.
There's only 3 episodes.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, well, it's relatively short.
Well, that's the next one I'm watching. Is number 3 is in the queue. So.
Yeah, it's I think the because of course it's juxtaposed with the interviews with the relatives of the main suspect.
Yes,
and it's the first time they've all spoken together on a documentary, and I found them quite compelling. I thought they were quite authentic.
Could I ask what your overall opinion? Do you find it believable that Allen guy was?
Yeah, I think it was him. Yeah, I'd already seen and read quite a few things on it, and I was already of the opinion it was him. But I wasn't aware of this evidence because this evidence hadn't come to light then.
No, yeah, I didn't know it either. I did see the 2007 film, and they did. I like the fact that they didn't blow that off in order to do the thing. They clearly reference it. They go, "Hey, this is the detective. Hey, he's this guy in the movie," and like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good that they acknowledged other people's efforts. You know, maybe one day that will happen with the post office scandal and my play, eh? You never know. Okay, Inside Man, you got another one?
Yeah. I'm going for another documentary. And
oh,
that
sorry, Tops.
is...
What would you give this out of 10 before we move on? What would you give this
Don't-
out of 10? Don't move.
Don't move. I'd give it a solid 9. Just
Okay, 9.
Yeah, just a solid 9. Mainly just because I like being surprised, because I would have scrolled past this 20 different times and not even paid attention. The guy that's the villain is really good. I don't know who he is. He seems familiar to me, so I didn't do that thing. I know you're always Googling who all the actors and what they've been in, and if you don't already know them, but I kind of just, unless Luke brings me on for a show to talk about something, I usually, if I'm just watching it in my leisure, I'll just kind of figure it out on my own.
The villain's played by the actor Moray Treadwell.
Okay.
I have seen him in a couple of other things. This is probably his biggest role.
Okay.
But he's done bit parts, like he was, you know, in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and
okay.
But,
yeah, no, it was a good solid 9. I think I shut my phone off so I could finish watching it, and I quite enjoyed it. It was a good palate cleanser after that stupid Venom movie.
All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with watching.
Please don't.
So sorry, Inside Man, what you got?
Well, I recently watched Electric Boogaloo, the story of Cannon. It's not the first time I've seen it, but it's such a compelling watch. It's again another one of those really entertaining documentaries about the movie business. And
well, funny you should say that. It gets a mention in my book. Did I mention I got a book coming out?
Oh, have you? What date would that be coming out?
The 1st of December.
1st of December. Must put that in my diary. In my diary.
Yeah, advanced orders soon to be taken. This is in there because I used to work for Canon, so
yeah,
you know, to sort of see this side of what was going on was quite fascinating for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very interesting documentary. Obviously, the Israeli cousins Menachem Golem and Yoram Globus, who, funny enough, have their own documentary. When they were asked, I think it comes up at the end of this documentary, that when they were asked to comment on the documentary or make an appearance on the documentary, they suddenly, out of nowhere, announced that they had their own documentary that they were working on about Canon films and their rise to fame and movie glory.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that one as well.
Yeah, the Go-Go Boys. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad documentary, but it certainly isn't. It's not as compelling as Electric Boogaloo. I mean, it really goes through everything.
Yeah.
You have an awful lot of the actors that are talking about the way they were treated by both Menachem, particularly Menachem Golem, how ruthless he was. And in some ways, it's when we get to the end, when we conclude with the documentary, it becomes quite sad. I think, you know, Menachem Golem looks very kind of lost and forlorn after the split from his cousin, and obviously after their major financial woes. But
bless you.
Yeah, it's bless you.
No, I'm fighting a terrible cold at the moment.
But it's amazing the amount of films that they managed to knock out. Almost all of them bad. Very, very
there's about 10 good ones, maybe.
Yeah, Runaway Train was a good one.
Runaway Train was good. Invaders from Mars was good. What's the other one?
Actually, Texas Chainsaw 2 wasn't bad. It was.
That was all right.
Yeah.
Invaders from Mars was good. Arctic Heat, wasn't that one of theirs?
It sounds like it would be.
With Norris's.
Oh right, then it will be. Yeah.
And that was actually a good film. That was surprisingly good. I was quite, you know. And then there are a couple that are so bad that they're good, like Delta Force and Invasion USA. Fun to watch. Fun to watch.
I mean, they did the age-old thing that, Charlie Band was doing it way before Golem and Globus were doing it. They would be setting a picture on the artwork on a poster, so they would take it to, either MyFed or Cannes or MIPCOM, I think is another one of them. Take all the posters around, and they'd be selling this. They're selling this fantastic movie. We got Charles Bronson in this movie. We got Charles Bronson, and they're just, they'd literally just sell the movie with Charles Bronson, and all they have is a title and Charles Bronson. They don't have a movie. They don't have a script. They have nothing.
Yeah.
But in pre-sales, they did very, very well. But they just overstretched themselves, and it's a great shame. But it was never a mark of quality, was it? Whenever you saw that Canon logo come up, you were never really kind of, really fist pumping. You were never sort of punch in the air or anything like that.
That's right.
Mind,
Inside Man doesn't like 80s films. He thinks all the 80s films are shit.
No. I said only some 80s films are good.
That's my formative years, brother. That's my formative years, sitting around getting VHSs and betas.
But I'll guarantee you, Tox, that if we were to put side by side all of the 80s movies that both you and I like, I bet you they would correspond. They would pretty much be the same. And they would be the small clutch of decent movies that have come out of the 80s.
That would be pretty strange if they were, just due to the fact that the big generational difference with you being in your late 50s and
80s,
me being in my
80s.
And me being in my teens and 20s. What was Northern English Bastard like in a wrestling match?
It sounded like he was in the midst of having sex, so I thought I'd just take him off the stream.
With a what? Not with his wife. With it. Hey, Luke.
Sorry, the dog's been whining. I'm trying to get her to sit over here. She's been a pain in the ass at the moment. She stands there looking at me.
This is a list of all the Canon films, and like I said, there were a couple I was trying to remember that were good. I'm just looking through them. Armor of God was not terrible. That was all right with Jackie Chan. It was all right. It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But there's a lot of stuff that was really bad here. I quite enjoyed the missing in action films for what they were.
I love the missing.
They're okay. Yeah, they're okay.
They're okay. They're fun. Alien from LA was terrible. Journey to the Center of Earth was terrible. Unfortunately, both of those are directed by my good friend Albert Poon, and he would have told you, Albert, come. This film is going to be really good. We're going to give you loads of money. Obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger is producing. I don't know what I was doing with that voice. And
you guys are terrible at accents, by the way. You shouldn't be making fun of me anymore. You guys.
Albert, come work on my movie.
Come watch my movie. Don't be stupid.
I'm coming into the kitchen, coming into the bathroom.
But it was always like he would tell me the budget, Albert, it's going to be $6 million. He'd arrive on set and he'd have 300,000 to play with, and he's got to pay himself.
Yeah,
and that would happen again and again and again. But it wasn't like he was being offered loads of other work.
I was a latchkey kid, and HBO and Showtime having all of the American Ninja movies on a Friday night. Platoon Leader, Michael Dudikoff, underrated.
I've seen that. I saw that recently, actually.
Great movie.
Well, I won't go back. I won't go that far, but it was all right. Sinbad and the Seven Seas with Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, terrible fucking movie. Absolute pile of shit.
Right.
Jesus. Tell me what you really think. Don't hold back,
we should do a
other than that, I love it.
We should do a Canon special. The Barbarians were with the two Barbarian.
Yes.
One of them is no longer alive, actually.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of them's no longer with us.
Oh no.
But Richard Lynch is in that, playing the bad guy. So Richard Lynch from Sword and the Sorcerer. So you've got at least you've got a quality villain actor.
Yeah, he played a random bad guy on the Highlander TV series that I review every week. So
I've actually got Firewalker on Blu-ray.
Firewalker is dope. Murphy's Law, great film. Cobra, great.
Yeah, do you know what, Inside Man? You might want to rethink that. Hey, if we listed our 80s films side by side, they'd probably be.
I'm already starting to shake.
Yeah. America 3000 was pretty entertaining. Saw that on video.
I'm not familiar with that one. That one I'm not
kind of like a low budget Planet of the Apes, sort of barbarian women. I think Laureen Landon was in that. Yeah, she was. I kind of liked her. She was great. I mean, I can't think why I liked her just looking at the picture, but
I think it's her eyes. I think it's definitely her eyes.
Her acting it was her acting ability
for sure.
But yeah, they were really plugging her as this next big thing. She was in some kind of sorcerer, Hundra. That was it. It was supposed to be the female Conan, and the trailers were really like kind of, this is the next Conan, but it's a woman, and starring the incredible new talent of Laureen Landon. And I was like, I've never heard of this woman. Who is she? You're talking about her like she's, the next Oliver Reed or something. But well, better looking than Oliver Reed. Yeah, so I'm sure there was one that I was on the tip of my tongue and I couldn't remember it. Breakdance 2 and Breaking were.
Yeah, Breaking was good actually. Or as we know it in the UK, Breakdance. But the first one was okay.
They made Treasure of the Four Crowns. They made Treasure of the Four Crowns.
Yeah, I think it was. I believe it was only distributed by them. I think. I'm not sure whether it was actually.
They made it.
Yeah, it was them.
This is the list of the films they produced.
Yeah,
the list of
the
films that they distributed is further down. They also, these are films that are not produced by Canon, but were theatrically distributed by them. So there's a load of other sort of low budget stuff like Thor the Conqueror, Emmanuel 4, The Sword of the Barbarians, Company of Wolves they distributed.
That was only in the US that they distributed that.
Was it? Oh yes, that's right. In the United States, you're right.
Yeah.
Highlander?
In the United Kingdom, they distributed Highlander, so they did quite well out of that. The Hitcher.
Yeah.
Now that was a good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That was a good film, but okay, they didn't make it, but probably why it was good. The Hills Have Eyes 2. I saw that on video. Patty Hearst. That was okay. Red Scorpion. That was with Dolph.
Big.
And then
Cop, like I mentioned earlier.
That's not Big with Tom Hanks. Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Weird.
They distributed it in the Netherlands only, though. So I guess the big studio took for whatever reason didn't want to do the Netherlands. So the Canon said, "Okay, we'll distribute it there for you." That's kind of unusual. And then there's a whole load of others here, which
Back to School.
These are their home video releases. Yeah, I remember Back to School. I had my friend Keith Gordon in it because these had the Canon sort of logo along the top of the boxes, which made it seem like they'd made far more films than they actually had. They even had the rights to Lord of the Rings at one point, the animated version. So they got their one. Yeah, the Ralph Bakshi one. They got their fingers in a lot of pies. That's for sure. Anyway.
Yeah, bless
Sorry, mate. Let's look at the trailer for the documentary. We went down a bit of a rabbit hole there. Let's have a look at this.
Our agent, Marty Baum, said, look, if you guys want to just go make a film and be totally left alone, there are 2 new guys in town.
Malcolm Golden and Yoram Globus were the heavyweights. They were the George Foremans and the Muhammad Ali's of the indie market.
Canon is the only company who loves cinema. Cinema is our life.
Yoram Globus was the businessman behind the movie making.
Where is my money? You promise and promise and promise and you're not paying.
Menachem Golan was the movie maker.
No, I cannot do it. I'm dying. Said, do it and then die.
I just always had in my head what a movie producer should be, and Menachem just didn't quite fit that picture.
He redubbed me with an American voice, but not a voice similar to mine.
A true ninja doesn't kill. He eliminates, and only for defensive purposes.
He's so
They were the forerunners of the Weinsteins. The difference is the Weinsteins cared about quality.
Sometimes we make better films. Sometimes we don't make such good films, but we do make films.
One of my first probably $10 million. I think they ended up spending about $3.75 on it.
They were considered schlockmeisters.
It's schlock, but they sure do make a lot of it.
The name of the game is to do, not just to blah, 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 blah. Talk about it.
Everything we got would go in two piles for the two Chucks, Bronson and Norris. It could have been Wuthering Heights. Which one is for Chuck and which one is for the other Chuck?
The audience wasn't prepared for the craziness, the looniness.
Ninja 3: The Domination managed to take The Exorcist, a ninja movie, and combine it with Flashdance.
Guys, really? I mean, that's insane.
Sylvester Stallone showed up, and he pointed up to Dolph. He goes, "You gave that guy lines?"
This is our fight.
I don't want innocent people to die. I felt a little stupid doing it.
Clyde the orangutan came to the office. Menachem's deciding whether to sign the orangutan to put him under contract.
It was crazy.
Talking to a monkey.
This would be an epic of cinema.
Blockbuster of the century.
Oh, God. We are in so much trouble.
And that's why everybody wants.
They put a stamp on pop culture.
It's hard to say the words canon films without laughing.
At the end of the movie, I had tears in my eyes. And Menachem, he says, "Haha, I got you." I was crying because I saw my career going down the toilet and I didn't know what I was going to do next.
It was almost like a bowel movement. You make a movie, it comes out, you flush it, and you move on to another one.
You see that there is a kind of a tragedy about one of the actions that they took, which seriously affected the British film industry. And that is that they took over Elstree Studios, and when they were really, really in financial trouble, they sold off the bulk of Elstree Studios to Tesco, a UK supermarket chain, for anyone who doesn't know, that's from America. But so the soundstage where they made Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Indiana Jones movies, that was pulled down. And there's now a Tesco on that site. There's now a shopping centre on that site, a supermarket on that site. And they single-handedly wrecked that film studio that had so much history attached to it, and all because they needed to make up their debts. They had to fulfill their financial obligation, and they sold that piece of land and that part of the studio to the highest bidder.
And actually, you can see that here. I show people. So this is Elstree, also known as there's Elstree BBC and Elstree Boreham Wood. And this whole section here, where you've got Elstree Studios here, this was all part of the studios, and this is the section that they sold off to Tesco's and various other people. And where this car park was and everything is where the studio was that Inside Man is talking about. So unfortunately, you do have a couple of stages left over here that didn't get pulled down. That they are still in use. So Elstree Studios now, what was the original studio, is just this section here. But I think they've got other studios now in the area.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much history attached to that studio.
I know.
I mean, 2001, The Shining, they were shot there. As I said before, Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, the Indiana Jones, the good Indiana Jones movies were shot there.
I think this is the new. Is this not the new studio over here? Sky Studio. Yeah. I think this is where they're building the new. This is the new one.
But it's it's a great shame. But they also sold off because they owned a lot of the old Pathé newsreels as well, and that entire collection, certainly the British Pathé newsreels, the collection was split. So it's no longer a complete archive. So all of that historical archive has been split, sold off to the highest bidder. And
I didn't realise that they bought. I didn't know that they bought Pathé, man. That's
yeah,
that's
that
kind of
actually
like
came with
historical.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what I can't forgive them for, apart from making some shit movies.
Yeah.
So that's me, bitter.
Electric Boogaloo is a great film. I love the documentary. I would give it 9 out of 10. What would you give it?
Yeah, a good 9. Yeah, easily a
Okay.
9. It's a terrific documentary.
It's a solid 9 inches from the inside, man. Toxic. What would you have? You seen it?
I have not, but when you showed that preview, and I'm sorry about them ruining the sound stages and things like that, but when you showed that preview, that was like watching my childhood, and I had this huge smile.
Oh, you'll love it.
Face.
You'll love it. Yeah,
you'll love it. You will. You'll absolutely love it, mate.
Yeah. So, but
aisle 4, bread, milk, and where Yoda said, "Size matters not." Indeed. Yeah. So. Yeah, Canon, Electric Boogaloo. Northern, you got another one for me?
Yeah, recently, V for Vendetta with Hugo Weaving.
Mate, I was actually going to do that tonight as well.
Yeah. We can all talk about it. We can both talk about it. Toxic, seen it?
Both discuss it.
Of
Not
course.
a problem.
Yeah. Of course.
V for Vendetta. This was out in the early 2000s, was it not?
2006?
5, 6, anyway. I think it was going to be released in 2005, but because of the attacks going on in London at the time, they delayed it about a year. But it is a very well done alternate history where this guy in a Guy Fawkes mask is actually planning to blow up Parliament and rid us of the tyrannical government that has oppressed us since for a good long time. It's very powerful, and it does kind of and it seems very relevant. What with our government arresting people for bloody memes, it's hard to dislike. I mean, even today, 20 years on, it still hits a nerve.
Yeah, it was actually due originally to be released on November 5th, 2005, but they bumped it to March 2006. So a bit disappointing.
Yeah, and I'm guessing Alan Moore hated this as well because he always hates all his adaptations.
He hates everything.
Oh yeah, he's a miserable guy.
He is the curmudgeon, isn't he? Of curmudgeons.
Maybe we can get him on and he can whinge for about an hour about all the stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I actually mentioned this in Open Bar as well. He whinged at people like Rorschach and is like, but he's like a right wing bigot. It's like, yeah, but you wrote him so well. I mean, you're to blame for that, mate.
What is you guys' opinion of Natalie Portman's British accent? Did she do good?
I think she's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know there is times where she struggles to deliver her lines well with it. Only a couple of times, but she does do the acting is still good though from her. One of the few times I like Natalie Portman as an actress.
I haven't seen it since I saw it at the cinema.
Same.
I saw it at the cinema. I thought it was decent. Didn't want to own it because I can normally decide. It's like, oh, do I want this film in my collection? And I'm pretty strict about what I add now, bearing in mind that I'm getting on, and how many more times am I going to watch these movies? So I but even back then, straight away it was a no. I don't want to rent this out, and I don't want to own it. So I saw it. It was fine, but for me it was fine, but it was forgettable. Above average.
Would you like a rewatch now?
I really like it.
It may well be that if I watch it now, it'll probably seem immediately more relevant than it did then.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I
So
think it
I
will
do like
resonate.
the
It,
cast.
it absolutely will resonate if if you were to watch it again. It's a
Yeah.
little bit of a go-to for me. This I do like it. I love the way that it looks. I love how well it's directed. It's a beautiful looking film. It
You
really
know,
is a
it's
beautiful
funny.
looking
It's
film.
funny, Lance, that you don't care for this that much because when I first met you, you reminded me of the TV producer that kind of takes the piss out of the president or whatever and gets in trouble for it. You reminded me of him a lot. Not
Stephen
not in the
Fry
way you
character.
look. Yeah, not in
Oh,
the way that you look or you talk, but just because of the way that he kind of took on big government by doing satire with his art, with
right.
his TV show and
I
stuff.
mean, it's not that I don't care for it. It was just that I liked it, but I wasn't. I hadn't read the comics, so I didn't have that background of sort of comparison. I just thought it was an okay film. I think by even by 2006, my kind of comic book superhero adaptation stuff was starting to wane, and I was sort of getting
Man.
less and less interested in that kind of product
So the
because I waited
MCU was
for.
totally wasted on you then, huh?
Well, I waited a long time for them to do the Watchmen film. And my favorite scene in the Watchmen comic, which I always wanted to direct the Watchmen movie. I talked about that quite a lot when I was younger. Like this is the graphic novel I would like to direct. And there's a scene where the Night Owl busts out of his lair just as the SWAT team are kicking open the door and they've like firing machine guns down the tunnel, and he sort of like punches out and escapes. And that's very cinematic. And I was like, I can't wait to see that scene. Sure enough, it wasn't in there, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why is that not in there? That's like just a director's wet dream." That sequence. Although there was a lot about the Watchmen movie that I liked. Since I've seen the restored version, I'm a big fan of it actually. But when it first came out, it was very heavily edited, and a lot of it was lost, and so it sort of seemed a bit meh. But that's because studio heads were meddling and interfering about. I suspect we didn't get the final cut of this. I suspect there was some interference on this film. I suspect there's probably a superior cut of it out there that's just got a bit more.
Yeah, there's a Blu-rays, isn't there? The Blu-rays have the uncut version. They even have the version where they have the Tales of the Black Freighter edited into it.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. I mean, I've seen. No, I mean, I know that about Watchmen. I like the full Watchmen version. I've seen it. I've seen the full Watchmen version. What I'm saying is, I suspect there's also a longer version of V for Vendetta. I think there were probably quite a few studio fingerprints on this movie that people were pulling it this direction or that direction. I thought it wasn't as controversial as it could have been. It was good, but it wasn't great. That was my take on it at the time. Now, watching it now, I might go, "Oh my god, it's so relevant now! It's amazing!" But I haven't seen it since 2006. So I can't comment. I give it. Back then I would have given it a 7 out of 10. So still a good rating, but
Yeah, I actually think it's quite a classy looking movie. It's
it looks great.
yeah. It really is a beautifully directed and certainly a beautifully art directed movie. Production design is
I'm pretty
superb.
sure it's shot by Adrian Biddle, I think.
Could well be.
Who shot Aliens and whose son is a DOP and has worked for me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll check that.
It was filmed at Studio Babelsberg in Germany. Weirdly, the same studio that Joseph Goebbels used to make his propaganda movies.
Right.
Which is exactly the same studio that Quentin Tarantino used for Inglourious Bastards as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, nice
I
studio.
Credit to Hugo Reven as well on here as well, because he just the fact that he's wearing this mask that has one facial expression and he has to use his whole body to do the acting and get across what he's feeling. I mean, that is something that
Was that really him?
Yeah, it was
Yes,
him.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think 90% of the time. They might have used a stand-in here and there, but I think 90%. Great. No, I mean, the film's got a great cast. You've got people like Roger Allam, Tim Pickett-Smith. You've got John Hurt in there, Stephen Rea. I mean, fantastic cast. Sinead Cusack, Eddie Marsan.
Yeah.
And it was Adrian Biddle that shot it. I just checked. I should watch it again. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I probably would. I'd probably like it more, I suspect. But yeah, just curious to. I'm just reading over. More explicitly disassociated himself from the film due to his lack of involvement in its writing or directing, as well as due to a continuing series of disputes over adaptations of his work.
Yeah. I mean, look, there comes a time when, as the creator of something, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and because this is a completely different medium. You know, I mean, a comic book is obviously a very different medium to film. So he has to let that go. You know, he can't expect, overall control. There has to come a time when, you have to relinquish some kind of responsibility, for the project itself. I think they did a perfectly decent job. I don't even think I think that's underselling it, actually. I think they did a very, very good job on this movie. Very, very good job. And I spent a little bit of time on it as well. So just for the record.
This was, I know they did some filming in London, including at in the Aldwych underground station.
Yeah.
This
right,
was the last. This was the last film of Adrian Biddle before he had his heart attack, sadly.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah. So that was his last movie. At least it was good. But yeah, Bausberg Studios. I thought we'd have a quick nosy at them. Let's have a look.
Lovely studio.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to work out which, because they've got. I know that they've got like a permanent street set, haven't they? Of a sort of an Americanish, or it might just be an old German. It might be an old German street. But I can't really tell from Google Earth, unfortunately. But let's have a butcher's. I think. Yeah, let me see. And those people still watching, do leave comments. Let us know what you think of the film. What is your rating for V for Vendetta out of 10? What would you give it? Yeah, this is Studio Bausberg. This is a set here, I think, by the looks of things. That looks like a set. Yeah, is it? Yeah, that's a set. So there's one set on the back lot there. Don't know what that is, but there's a helicopter in it, in the set there. You can see there's a helicopter. And I think these buildings here are all studios by the looks of it. Yeah, so there you go.
It's very, very good in terms of the facilities that the studio offer. Very similar kind of vibe to Cinecittà.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. Very similar.
I would imagine it would be a really interesting place to visit. This is this looks like part of the back lot as well. Yeah, this is the back lot, right? So see this, these are streets. So you can see these are fake frontages, and then this doubles for another street here. So, and gardens to use for various things, and so these are all sort of buildings that have been built to double for sets as well as. So this is probably a permanent set. This one. Yeah, that's interesting. I do always like having a nose to see what's going on, but I can't quite tell where it begins and ends. Obviously, these are all residential houses on the other side of this road here, but I think it's probably this whole central section here by the looks of it. Yeah, so pretty big place. Yeah. 8 out of 10 says Gary Bolter from Outcast, Australia. Gary, do you want to pop on for? If you want to pop on for a bit, mate, I'll drop you the link. So, yeah, you can come on. Gary always helping out with things behind the scenes on the Outcast channel, and a valued member of the team. He's also available for murder mystery weekends and such, and after dinner speaking. If you need someone in the Sydney area of Australia, Gary Bolter is your go-to guy for those services. So, yeah.
So we've got an 8 from Gary. We've got a 7 from you.
Yeah, I'd give it 7. What about you guys?
Luke?
Yeah, give it a 9. I give it a 9.
Tox?
I give it an 8. I give it a solid 8.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Northern. Actually, I'd give it a 9. I do enjoy this movie every time I watch it. It's yeah, I really do enjoy this movie. But that's really weird. I suppose there was a little bit of a subconscious thing going on there where 5th of November and all that kind of stuff, gunpowder plot. So
yeah.
So I thought, I was going to choose this, but I'm glad that you did, Luke. Actually, really glad that you brought this one up, and I'd recommend this to anybody. I think it's a lovely looking film.
What is the ultimate gunpowder plot movie, or is there one?
I don't think there is many though, is there? I mean, is there any more movies about Guy Fawkes? I know they did a TV drama about it with.
That's right, yeah.
With Kit Harington, but honestly, I only watched one episode, and I was kind of bored by it.
Because if you recall, Lance, our mutual friend David Macy actually has an interesting screenplay on regarding the gunpowder plot.
What's happened to him? I've not seen him for a while.
No, I've not seen him for a while. I know that he had a few meetings. He did have a few meetings regarding the script and the idea. Hopefully, fingers crossed. The thing has moved forward. But it was not a bad script. Not a bad script. I think you gave him some notes, didn't you? I think you gave him some side notes on that.
Yeah, I did. I suggested some rewrites and changes and things, but no, it was all right because he sent it to you as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he booked me for a couple of writing sessions, which for anyone listening, you can do that. If you want me to go through your script, that is one of the ways I make a living. Or, well, let me rephrase that. That's one of the ways that I'm able to do a food shop on a weekly basis. Wouldn't quite go as far as saying making a living, but yeah. So
and of course, fortunately, on the 1st of December, I think you have a book or something coming out, or something like that.
I do have a book coming out. On the
Lance,
1st
do you have a book coming out? I've heard some.
I do, and my special narrator who does all my speeches has arrived to talk about my book. Gary, do I have a book? Do I have a book coming out on the 1st of December?
Hopefully, fingers crossed. The thing is.
Oh, he's got the audio on the.
Yeah, Gary, you're now live. Actually, you are on the channel, Gary. Hello, Gary, you're on the channel. You're looking confused. Hang on, let's go full size.
Is that some kind of lag or something? What?
Well, Gary is looking very confused.
Me for a couple of writing sessions, which for anyone listening, you can do that.
Gary, you're
if you want me to go through this, I make a little. Let me rephrase that. That's one of the ways
I'm gonna mute Gary for a second because he clearly isn't aware that he's actually live now. He's just sort of dawdling, sort of hanging about. Clearly has us on another screen. He's just in a second. The time lag will catch up with him, and we'll suddenly see him jump up and start looking around and realizing he's here.
Oh, that's brilliant! That's brilliant.
Oh no!
Gary, you are live now, but we can hear ourselves from.
Hang on a minute.
You're now live. You are on the chat.
Oh shit! Am I?
You've got a screen open somewhere with us.
Let's go.
Let me just mute Gary again. He can solve that problem.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Let's see if that's.
Hang on. What's going on?
Okay, you've resolved it now, mate. You're now we can hear you and not hear ourselves, which is good.
There you go. I'm pressing all sorts of buttons here. I don't know why.
Fun time.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, mate.
Sorry, I just come back from the gym. I've started going to the gym. I'm not entirely sure why. but here we are.
Yeah. I know why I do it. Yeah, you got to look good naked, Gary. That's the main thing, you know.
That's the key, right?
Yeah, pick up heavy stuff, put it back down, get sweaty. Chicks dig it. Just take care of the upper body. All you got to do is take care of the upper body, shoulders and arms. Everything else you can just let go to waist. Doesn't matter. They don't care. Just wear the right t-shirt. You're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. And stand in front of the mirrors going, all of that sort of stuff. Well, it's nice to. Oh yeah, hello. And from down under, my cat. So yes. So good show.
Well,
Bond.
It's definitely good now you're here. Have you seen V for Vendetta?
I love V for Vendetta, a stylish looking movie, and well, as you said previously, one might argue quite relevant under the current circumstances, even now.
What would you give it out of 10?
An absolute 8 out of 10 for me. And as Inside Man says, oh, for the love of God, Alan, let it go. Your films are being made. Not a lot of writers get their films made. So, grow up.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. I haven't been. I didn't quite catch the beginning of the show, so I'm not sure what you've reviewed. Anyone seen Disclaimer?
No, yeah. Talk to us about Disclaimer, Gary, because that was one of the things you were recommending.
Well, I haven't seen the last episode yet, but it's a sort of psychological thriller with Cate Blanchett and Sacha Baron Cohen. Not really a fan of Sacha Baron Cohen, but strangely, there's a rip in the space-time continuum because I'm actually quite enjoying him in this. He's restrained. And they play a couple whose son, as a small child, was saved by a young 20-something man whilst the family were away in Greece. In Italy. And what had happened on the family holiday many, many, many years ago in Italy was Sacha Baron Cohen had to go home for work, but left the wife and child there. And the wife, which is played by a younger woman, so because it's all in flashbacks, has an affair with a young 20-something man, and things go astray. And the young man drowns, saving her son. So there's a lot of flashbacks to what happened back in Italy to now, as the family of the dead boy constantly hound the grown-up woman, which is Cate Blanchett, played by Cate Blanchett now. And the performances are just fantastic, and I was totally hooked. So the best way to describe it is a sort of almost noir psychological thriller, I would say. There's a lot of heat about this show because apparently it's not out yet. The last it's one of those things, apparently, according to the write-ups, where it hooks you in, you're invested, you want to know what happens, and allegedly the last episode fucks it all up. I'm not sure if that's entirely true. Because it's not out in Australia yet, but I hope that's not the case. But I'm a big fan of Alfonso Cuarón, because he did The Revenant, didn't he? No,
I'm not sure.
But he's very good though, and I can't say too much about it lest I spoil it. But it's absolutely worth a watch.
It's got Cate Blanchett burning books, that's for sure.
Burning books, yeah. I would give it a solid 9 out of 10 for me. But then again, I haven't seen the last episode, so there you go.
Okay.
Oh, I'm the chief of Australia. There you go.
So that's on the maybe list. I have to say I do like Sacha Baron Cohen when he's reined in.
I've always wondered what he would be like.
It's the first time I've seen him reined in, or maybe I haven't seen enough of his stuff.
He did that true story of the Israeli intelligence officer that blagged his way into Hezbollah or something like that, and ultimately I think was betrayed. I forget the name of the show. It was like a 4-part miniseries, and he was amazing in it. He was really good, and I thought, wow, how did they? What did they do? Did they cut off his drugs, or how did they restrain this guy?
Yeah.
I always think it's interesting when they have like an over the top comedian do something really dramatic, like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, and it more often than not it winds up being something really, really good.
Yeah. He was really great in that. I thought
that was amazing.
I just recently watched that. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh my God, what a performance. I mean, that was Oscar worthy. That was.
I did like it when he won that award at that independent awards ceremony, and he said, "I'm so sorry to the other nominees that you will now be forever known as the guys who lost to Adam Sandler." That was such a funny speech, man.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we'll add that to the list. There was a second one you mentioned as well, Gary.
Did I?
Yeah, you mentioned two things. Tell me the second one.
I can't remember. I can barely remember my own name at times, let alone series I've watched.
That's an incredibly long title. I don't think that was the title. I think it was something else.
What did I say? I'm just looking back on the previous messages. No, I can't remember.
Okay.
It'll probably come when we've hung up. But that disclaimer. It's the way to go.
I will check it out. Okay. Has anybody got anything else they want to recommend before we start to wrap up?
Yeah, I think I'm out of something to recommend for now.
I mean, the Penguin is keeping up its excellent. It's excellent. It's really good.
That is
haven't got it yet
well.
on the list.
Yeah, I am enjoying the Penguin. It has to be said. I am enjoying the Penguin.
How many eps? How many eps is Penguin?
One more. So what? 8 total, right? Right. Luke?
I'm on episode. I've just done episode.
Top Hat.
Is it 5 or 6? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're on that. Last
Top
one
Hat.
was episode 7, so yeah, it's Top Hat.
Yeah, Top Hat. Yeah.
No, so the episode I've just done is the one where she's got the family member tied up, and he's kind of like freaking out and all the rest of it, and she's sort of trying to take over. That's the one I've just watched.
Oh, okay. You got.
I think it might be a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's either episode 5 or 6 that I've just seen. Yeah, I haven't seen Top Hat. I haven't seen 7.
It's taken a dark turn.
Well, it's pretty dark already.
It gets darker, brother. It gets darker.
Oh yeah, not to spoil it though, but Penguin. Yeah, this guy is
hard to read.
He's one lying fucking two-faced psycho. He really is.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
I'll have to watch it.
Look forward to seeing that then. I mean, it's consistently good, isn't it? It is basically Scarface. It's kind of a Scarface drama for me, and that's fine. I mean, I like that.
Has Batman made an appearance yet, or they're not going there?
I don't think that they will. I'm hearing rumblings, but if you're asking me, Gary, I would prefer that they don't. I'd prefer Batman stay out of it.
Yeah, I don't want to see any capes. I'm quite happy for it to sort of stay grounded and for him to be off on holiday.
Okay.
I just don't think it needs it. The characters we have are fine. Maybe for if there's a second season, I don't think there's going to be a second season because I don't think Colin Farrell wants to do it.
That's what I've heard as well.
And it's not that he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't like it. It's the makeup process. He doesn't want to sit through that again.
Yeah,
and it
I
is a
was
bit.
hearing rumours that they might try and do a Sophia spin-off, and I'm like, I like the character. I don't want to see a spin-off of it. I think she's great as an antagonist.
Yeah, I'll reserve judgment on that, and let's see where we are at the end. But I think you're probably right, though. I think we probably don't need a spin-off with the Marconi lady. Yeah, but it is good though. Good show. Really enjoying it. Yeah, I think every episode for me has either been a 7 or an 8 out of 10, and it hasn't dropped below that. It hasn't gone above it. It's just a very well written, well performed, solid thing. I think if Colin Farrell wasn't doing that performance, I'm not sure it would be as good as it is. It definitely hinges on his he's really the anchor of the piece for sure.
I'm not so sure I agree with you on that. I'd submit to you that it's balanced pretty well at this point between Christine Milioti and Colin Farrell.
Yeah. She's great as well. She's superb.
Yeah,
but if we had a weaker actor playing the Penguin, I don't think the show would be as good.
I agree with that. Yeah,
She'd still be as good.
The amount of people saying I can fix her is astounding now. I mean, I don't think she ever got this much attention before she did the Penguin.
Right.
No, she hasn't. This is really, I know she's been around a hot minute, but this is really making her career. People are really getting to see what she can do. This is I would probably put this with how McConaughey came off after Mud in season 1 of True Detective. It's really showcased her talents to something that, she's been enjoyable and cute before, but she's a showstopper in this.
Yeah, that's it. She used to be very adorable, but here she's just psychotic, and she's using those same big eyes as well to and she can carry off both. She's a good actress, really good actress.
I've met this actor, Con O'Neill, when he was working in the UK.
Oh, really? Does he talk like that?
Really familiar as well.
Yeah. Is that his real voice, Lance?
Yeah, that is his real voice. He's exaggerated it a bit, but he does talk like that. He's got this kind of almost like he's whispering the whole time.
Yeah, it almost sounds like he's smoked way too much as well, because it's like.
Well, I did worry about him a bit. He's not looking that well there. So I do worry about him a little bit. But he's he's been around a while. I can't remember where I met him, but it was on the set of something or other. Long time ago now. But so anyone else? Does anyone else want to give it a rating who hasn't already?
Yeah. Should we do our rating before Thursday?
I don't want to. I mean, I'm glad I brought it up because obviously Lance asked a question. I'm going to answer it, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to stomp all over our stream. Plus, I'm doing this for Nadia's channel too, so I don't want to really, beat it to death. But I mean, it's a solid 10 out of 10 for sure.
Somebody else recommended Juror 2 to me. Has anybody else seen that? And I think Clint Eastwood is involved in Juror 2, I believe.
Is that out already?
Apparently so. So some people have seen it. So
Juror 2. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that.
I think it's a movie, right?
I don't know.
Let's just have a quick look.
Yeah,
it's out already. In the States, at least, I think. Juror 2. So it's Nicholas Hoult, Toni Collette.
Directed
by Clint Eastwood. Yeah. So this is a feature film.
No.
It's Clint's latest movie.
All right. He's still making them.
He is. Yeah. And that's why he's probably living till he's 96, because he's going to keep going.
Wow.
I'm going to keep writing until I'm never going to stop writing. So
talking of writing, there's a book or something coming out on the 1st, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah. Are you doing a book, Lance?
Mention that I've got a book coming out.
Do you write that? Oh shit! Tell me.
Yes, I have a book coming out, Gary, on the 1st of December. Please look out for it. Well, we'll be talking. There's a big launch on the 1st of December. There'll be a movie quiz on the channel.
You heard it here, folks.
Which is all connected to the book. So the questions for the movie quiz are all going to be connected to the films in the book. And we're going to have our reigning champions come back from last year. They're going to be taking on a surprise panel of different guests.
My excitement level just went through the roof.
I can tell, Gary, you've gone green with envy behind you.
I know.
Yeah, so that's coming up. I have got a deluge of interviews, guys, coming up next week. Where is my diary? Here it is. Yeah, so there are a total of, first of all, we have on Thursday, this Thursday, we have Jeffrey Byron coming in at 4 p.m. UK time, so earlier than normal. Then also after open bar, I've got another interview. So I've got two in one day. Dana Lombardi, who is a very well-known games designer. You can Google him. He's coming on at midnight. He's got a Kickstarter for his latest game design. So I'm going to be plugging that for him. I'm going to be talking to him. That's happening on Thursday at midnight. Then this Sunday, we haven't got anything planned at the moment, but I think I probably will do a stream, but I'm going out for a Sunday roast, so I don't want to commit to doing something at 8 o'clock. I don't think I'll be back until sort of 9 or half 9. So watch this space for what's happening on Sunday. Next week is when it gets really busy. So we start off next week with an interview with Junior Tomblin. So Junior Tomblin is another artist who worked on 2000 AD Inside Man.
Wow.
Yeah, but he, in addition to doing that, he was the artist who designed many of the rave flyers in the 90s. So I met him recently. Guess where? At a rave. And he's coming on the channel. He's a digital artist who's done work for various comics over the years, including Marvel and so forth. This is his website. So if people want to check him out, really, really interesting guy with a very, very impressive career. He's my first interviewee next week. He's coming on the Monday. So he's coming on the Monday at 8 o'clock. So you're going to want to check that out, guys, because it's going to be a great one. Then, of course, we have Adele and Charmin Love coming on, who are two DJs. They are coming on the following night at 7 o'clock. I think that'll probably run from 7 until about 8:30. So Adele's a trance and house DJ who's kind of, getting to the height of her career. She's going to do places like Ibiza and stuff like that now. Charmin is a DJ quite well known in Brighton. She's just starting out. So the idea is that we'll give her a boost on that stream as well. See if we can get her a bit more attention, which of course is what our channel is all about, supporting emerging artists. So we have that interview on the Tuesday. Then on the Friday, because I'm taking Wednesday and Thursday off. Well, when I say that, I'm traveling to my friend's house to go and try his children's board game that they've designed. So I'm not sure that qualifies as a day off. But I think it will be fun. It will be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. On Friday, Inside Man will be joining me along with Tom B, because at 8 o'clock we have the godfather of British comics coming on the channel, Pat Mills himself, who is something of a legend. Why I can't find the poster for that, I don't know. It is here somewhere. It's already on the it's already up on the channel. That is 8 o'clock on the Friday, November the 15th. Should be, oh no, sorry, we're going earlier than that, aren't we? It's 8 o'clock his time. I do apologize. We're going at 6 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. So it is going to be slightly earlier than my preferred sort of streaming windows. But unfortunately, that is the best time for Pat. So so that's going to be Pat Mills on Friday. If you haven't seen the 2000 AD documentary, he's in that. And yeah, it's going to be good fun, I think. I've already had a very nice conversation with his lovely wife. The games designer is Dana Lombardi. Dana Lombardi, board games designer, won lots of awards. So yeah, Pat Mills is on the Friday, and then there's nothing happening on Sunday the 17th, and then we've got more stuff coming the following week. So yeah, bit of a rammed week next week. I think I've also got an independent director coming on the Thursday. Damari Dowry is coming on Thursday the 14th of November at 8 o'clock. I just don't have a thumbnail poster for that yet. So basically there's an interview pretty much every night next week.
Oh,
We got one on Monday, we got one on Tuesday, yeah, and in theory we've got one on Thursday if I can get back in time from my trip. So busy time. Hopefully my cold will have gone by then. Yeah, so and do you know what, I have not checked where we're at with the subscribers at the moment. I feel I should, because we were creeping up to 5k. I don't know if we've got any closer. I had a deluge of support, and then, you know, like these things do, they kind of grounded to a halt. Right, so we're at 4,699. So if there's anyone watching who hasn't subscribed, subscribe now. That'll take us to 4,700. So we're 301. We're 301 away from 5k. That's not bad.
Pretty good.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get there. Just need a bit of a push. I'm hoping to get some big YouTuber guests to come on for the quiz. So hopefully we'll have a few big names. Oh, talking of big name YouTubers, one who's just confirmed that he's going to come on and do an interview with me is Drunk 3PO. So Drunk 3PO is going to be coming on the channel certainly this side of Christmas. I think towards the end of November.
Good news.
We fired off a couple of dates, so that's going to be a great interview. He's got a new book out on Kickstarter, so we've been talking for a while about him coming on, and I've been chatting to him for over nearly 3 years, I think now. So I think that's finally going to happen. Fantastic stuff. Yeah. So great. So that's it, really. Gary, have you got anything you want to plug while you're here, mate?
I wish. But on the bright side, I've just remembered that show. Old Man, Jeff Bridges. Great
It's a good show. Great show.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's just, it's the show I wish I could be in. But
I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that one next week. So can my panelists remind me?
You got it.
We'll pick that one up. We'll pick that one up next week.
Yeah, I need to catch up with that. I need to catch up on Tulsa King season 2 as well. It's I've got 2 shows that I want to try and watch as soon as possible.
Yeah, I also need to catch up on Tulsa King as well. I've seen because Old Man was on. I think it was on at either Amazon or Disney. I forget which.
Disney.
Right,
Disney for FX. Yeah.
No.
And I put it on, and I thought, oh, this is pretty good. And then I fell asleep.
Oh, no.
And yeah, it wasn't. It was just because I was knackered. So yeah. Get on Drinker's Stream again. Just don't mention anything weird or chicky flicky like the Substance.
Substance wasn't that bad. It was pretty decent actually.
Substance is a pretty good film, and I think I did mention that when I was on last, and most people like it. So yeah. So it's when I mentioned Big Mouth that I got really slated on there, because I quite like Big Mouth, but apparently it's considered to be very leftist, but I just think it's funny. So I don't really read politics into these animated shows. Yeah, I do need to watch The Old Man properly. So I will sit down and watch it. I'll try and watch it before next week. Northern, do you want to plug anything real quick before we go?
Yeah, I mean, Toxic will be talking about the latest episode of The Penguin. 7 o'clock my time on Thursday, which will probably be his 2 p.m. Yeah, but either way, me and him and anyone else who wants to pop on to discuss that episode are more than welcome. And then Friday, I will be doing Paprika for the League of the Retro Spider-Man Bastards with Inside Man and Stupenzo if he still wants to make it, since it was his recommendation. And every day I've got on my MCU Infinity Saga reviews popping up, and it's coming very daily as well. So, it took a good while to get these videos together, and glad to see them finally make the light of day on YouTube. And I'm hoping I can try and get my review on The Wild Robot done later this week as well.
Incidentally, I will be talking to Dana Lombardi about One Page Bulge, which, if the Wargamers that are watching, it is the original One Page of Rules Battle of the Bulge game that came out in the 80s. They're launching a special 80th anniversary of it. It got funded in 40 minutes, so it's already look at that. In 40 minutes, they raised 24 grand. Most filmmakers can't do that in 4 weeks on Kickstarter. So these classic games do have their followers, and they're basically doing a new edition of it. So this is the original One Page Bulge game. There you go.
Nice.
And, it sold really well because it just had 1 page of rules, which some of us gamers like 1 page rules, especially me. When I get a 40-page rule book, I'm a bit like, oh, really? This is a novel, So I'm going to be talking to Dana Lombardi about that after open bar on Thursday. That'll be my after open bar chat. We'll be doing that. And Dana's been on before. He's a great guest. So, Gary, have you heard our song yet?
My God, you've got a song. Damn it, you play it at the end of this so I can hear it. You play it loud, you play it proud.
Okay, brother, you got it.
Hang out the lands at the Outcast Creative, where all the misfits and dreamers get innovative. It's film, TV, and theater in the mix. Industry interviews, where ideas get their fix. He's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew. At Outcast Creative, we're breaking through. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Interviews with fellow artists on the rise, and reviews that might surprise. Films, TV shows from back in the day. You might just find a hidden gem today. He's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew. At Outcast Creative, we're breaking through. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Makers, comic book creators, stand-up crowd. Actors, musicians, board game designers, be loud. At Outcast Creative, amazing's the word. He even interviewed the legend, Galen Hurd.